Welcome to Business on the Vine. I'm your host, Lady Jen Du Plessis, and in this dynamic series, we dive into the challenges, breakthroughs, and victories of entrepreneurs who have turned their passion into success. Welcome. Hey everyone, welcome back to Business on the Vine. I'm your host, Lady Jen Du Plessis, and today with me is a new friend, Jennifer Takagi. And we met on the Marketers Cruise. Was it not this year, but was it a year ago that we met?
I think it was 2 years ago.
I've been on, I met two cruises ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we thought we had, hey, didn't we connect? No, we didn't. We thought we did. So we had to be reminded of it. But I was like, this time we're going to do it. This time we're going to do it. And it was funny because when you rescheduled, I thought, we're not going down this path, right? But life happens. I get it. I totally get it. But welcome to the show, Jennifer. Happy to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here and that we made it work. And I have a new rule. Do not things different time zones.
That's right. That's right. I know, especially when we're making appointments. Well, you are known as the 12-minute success coach. You are you are an intuitive business and certified high performance coach who helps women discover the power of their purpose. Now, listen, if you're a man and you're listening, you're going to understand how your purpose is too. My husband listens to all of my podcasts and he says, oh, I love it when you have women come on because it's so applicable to everything, right? It truly is. And I know that you help women release what's holding them back from the life they are destined to live. I can tell you that men have this challenge too, especially when there's a transformation or a transition out of a corporate world and they're going, hey, what's my identity? What's going on, right? So you help clients achieve their dreams by breaking them down into simple 12-minute increments. You are a 6-time best-selling author on Amazon. You've launched a podcast called Destined for Success, which is totally up my alley. And again, just happy to have you on the show, Jennifer. And I want to apologize in advance if I call you Jen, because I don't go by Jennifer. It's just too formal for me. And so if I call you Jen accidentally, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jen is fine. What's not okay is Jenny. Simply because I've never been called it. Like, I don't know to answer to it. It's like calling me Mark or something. Like,
yeah, and you'll never answer to it. Well, I was known as Jenny who ain't got a penny. So there is no Jenny calling over here.
We talked about that on the cruise. Yeah, no, we're not Jenny girls.
Not at all. No. Although I could be Jenny from the block because that's my old stuff, but happy to have you here. And it was fun on the cruise because we took pictures of all the Jennifers that were on the cruise. And I think there was at least 9 of us.
That was a great idea. That was such a great idea.
Funny. And you know what was so sad is I didn't get a chance. My client who was on the cruise, who is a Jennifer, she's a 2N Jen. We couldn't find her. She missed the photo.
Oh yeah, because we were looking for her.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's funny.
That's funny. I talk about the Marketers Cruise quite a bit on this podcast because that's where I meet a lot of people. And if we have 400 people on a cruise and half of them are brand new, and even half of them at 100, I want to interview. Let's say I only want to interview 50. That's still a year of podcasts, right? Even if I got the chance to do all that, and I don't. So that's why there's so many people that come from the Marketers Cruise. And we always have a link below in the show notes for the Marketers Cruise if you want to sign up and just pick my name as the person who invited you, because it is an invitation event. And if you have questions, you can always call me. But that's where we met. And, I just loved your personality. You're so spunky and sparky and happy, because you found out, hey, look, we have to live our lives. And this is so in alignment with what I talk about, but I love that you do it in 12-minute increments. So let's talk about not the 12 minutes right now. Let's talk about how you discovered this, because I know you were in the housing industry. I don't know what you exactly did, but I know you were in the housing industry. I was in the housing industry as well. And the stress that can be there is nobody understands the stress unless you're in the stock market. No one understands the stress. So tell us what happened there, what you do and what happened there. And then how did you start discovering these 12-minute increments of doing something that everyone will discover? We'll kind of leave that open loop there for a second.
Oh gosh, thanks so much. And thanks for asking. I graduated from college with a degree in French, and for some odd reason, like people didn't think I was very hireable. And so I ended up, my dad, I mean, I could do a lot of things.
Parlez-vous français today?
Oui, je parle un peu, mais il y a plusieurs années que je ne parle moins. So that's it. That's like my
Yeah, I
pattern.
say un peu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
And
little.
you got to get the little, whatever. In France, it's like, um, but I was convinced by all the professors I was around that if you can learn a language, then you can be taught pretty much anything in business.
Right,
And
right.
although I think that's still true, I graduated right after the Penn Square Bank failure, and I'm
Yeah.
in Oklahoma. So you can imagine Penn Square Bank falls. That starts a whole series of savings and loan failures across the entire
Oh,
country.
wait a minute. Was this the
Yeah,
SNL bailout in the
yeah,
early 80s?
yeah. Or
Okay.
mid to late 80s. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All of that.
yeah.
So I couldn't find a job, and my dad worked for the Department of Housing and Urban Development
Oh, okay.
and got me a job. Well, didn't brought me an application, I guess, to be a temporary clerk. So I went to work there as a temporary clerk, and somebody casually said, if you leave here and go into mortgage banking for 3 years, you can come back and go from being a clerk to a journeyman. And I was like, well, that sounds like a plan. And I did. I went to work for a mortgage banking company, and I was in the collections department. And so I worked for two different organizations. And then literally 3 months to the year, I mean, 3 years to the month, I went back to HUD and got hired in at substantially more pay and a much
Oh,
better
good.
position.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was in single family housing for the first few years, and then I moved to multifamily housing, and I oversaw the subsidized housing as well as the insured high end multifamily apartment complexes. So I did that for many years, but anytime they said there was something to train on, I was always the one called upon.
Yeah,
Like even
life
as a little
learner.
girl, I like lined up all my stuffed animals and I told them what to do. Just a natural natural inclination. And so anytime something came up, they would be, oh, Jennifer, would you learn this and train it? Will you learn this and train it? So towards the end of my career, I didn't know it was the end of my career. Towards the end of my career, they said, we want you to travel the country and train on how to do a business a new way. And I was like, well, number one, no, because federal employees don't like to change, and that's going to be hard. And number two, I have season tickets to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we were going to the playoffs, baby. Like, I'm not missing the games. And they said, well, you could fly home for the games. Well, and the reality is you can't tell them no. I said no all I wanted, but it was still going to happen. So I traveled the country for a year, training thousands of employees on a new way of doing business. And shockingly to me, we actually trained managers how to lead better, which had
Yeah.
really not ever been in the curriculum. And so I get back to the office on a Friday, and literally the next Wednesday, I find out that whole 48 out of 52 weeks I had traveled, sometimes 2 and 3 states in a week, I was working myself out of a job. They were
Yeah.
trying to get everybody on the same board with how to do things so we could go from like 56 offices to 10
Mm-hmm.
for our division in multifamily housing. And so I was like, well, now what? And it was like, okay, I'm going to be a trainer. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I thought this is going to be easy. Like I'm so good at it. It's going to just
Right.
be a breeze. Everybody's going to
Yeah.
want me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I retired, and then literally 1 month later, and I took a month off. I told everybody I'm taking a month off. And my phone rang and it was like, hey, would you come to Fort Worth and train us for a whole day? And we've got 80 managers coming in, blah, blah. And I was like, piece of cake. Yes. I honestly thought that was the rest of my life. Like my phone was just going to ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody told me it wasn't. So fast forward a little bit. I now have found out there are things such as business coaches. When you work for the federal government, you don't even know there is such a thing as a coach, much less a business coach. And so I end up with several coaches for various, specialties. And I ended up at an event, and Jack Canfield, who wrote, co-founded the Chicken Soup for the Souls series,
Yeah.
as well as the book Success Principles, was there.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been to those events when they say, race to the back of the room. There are only so
Yes.
many. I promise I did not race. I moseyed. I moseyed to the back of the room and signed up for his Success Principles online course. And I took the course. It was great. It's really hard. There's a lot of material there. I get to the end. I'm now a certified Success Principles trainer. And I get a call asking last minute, like a week at advance notice, hey, can you come speak at this dry chicken association luncheon? Our person backed out. And I was like, of course, I've got some new material. It's step one on your path to success. And she's like, great, come
Yeah.
on. So you sit down and you start putting your material together. And Jack Canfield says in the book, The Success Principles, and in the training, take 100% responsibility for every aspect of your life. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, got it, no problem. My mom always taught me winners are on time, losers are late, winners have a full tank of gas, losers are sitting on the side of the road. I've never run out of gas, and I'm typically on time. But sometimes I'm not. Like, well, 100% now that you look at it like that, that's kind of hard. And, maybe I can't. Oh, maybe I don't. So then he said, if 100% is too hard, take 5% more responsibility. Okay, simple enough. Okay, what's 5%? I became, I promise, I was up at night and I am a sleeper. I was up at night. What is 5%?
Right.
5% of what?
Right.
I'm
Right.
going to get up in front of this room and I'm going to go, and if 100% is too much, take 5% more of what? So
Right.
if I have the question, they have the question.
Mm-hmm.
It finally came to me that my days were broken up, my waking hours, in three segments: 8 to noon, 1 to 5, 6 to 10. And I said already, I have a degree in French and Spanish, almost a minor in English. I graduated college with a separate honors degree and no math class. And so I'm very proud of that. I graduated without a math class because I didn't want to take any more math.
Right. Right. But now you had to.
I can use a calculator and Excel. So I'm covered. So I get my little calculator out because at housing, I was given $500 million and told to spend, like, you've got to be able to do
Right.
math. But I have Excel and a calculator, so I'm good. I get my little calculator out. 4 hours is 240 minutes.
5%.
5% of that is 12 minutes.
Ah, gotcha.
So
Mm-hmm.
if I segment my day into three parts and I focus solely and completely for 12 minutes on one thing, how much can I get done? So let's talk about, business people, entrepreneurial people. We're going to do a social media post, right? We're going to get it all together and do the post. And we spend 45 minutes to an hour doing one post.
Yeah.
If you set a little timer for 12 minutes, you actually do it and you
Yeah.
get it done. So if you take those bigger tasks, those bigger dreams, those bigger goals, break them down into 12 minutes, and then you can accomplish so much more because we fill how much ever time we have. We will jack around and play with Facebook videos and answer that phone call that we don't really need to answer. And then we're like, oh my gosh, I have 10 minutes left and I was going to do this and move on. And if you just say, nah, I'm going to do it in 12 minutes, your day can just really be very
I
different.
love that. Yeah, I love that. Thanks for explaining that. Because I said in 12-minute, when we started, I said in 12-minute increments of something. I don't know what we're talking about, right? So I love that you've shared it. Yeah, thank you so much. So for someone who's listening, obviously a lot of us have a second career for a business owner now. Some people don't, not everybody, not all of you listening, right? But it's a second career, right? And so the hesitation is just, I'm going to ask you a couple different questions because this is called Business on the Vine for a reason. But when you started your own business, and especially coming from government, I live outside of Washington, D.C., so we're latent with government workers. So I know the mentality, I know the mindset, right? How did you make the shift to saying, you know what, it's okay to make that transformation or that transition into business ownership? Because someone may be listening and afraid to make that shift. They might be hesitant, maybe not afraid, hesitant to make that shift. How did you overcome that specifically because you came from government?
Well, my first thing was I was there almost 26 years or almost 27.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It was more than
Mm-hmm.
25. It was a big chunk of my life.
Yes. Yeah.
And I had like a mantra of as soon as I'm part of the problem and not the solution, I need to go. So I think in some ways I wasn't fully entrenched in some of the stereotypical government mentality because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do a job. Every single
Mm-hmm.
person who works for the federal government is a civil servant.
That's right.
Servant is key. It's not that you rule the universe. I mean, I did, but I did it nicely. Like, right, I'm there to serve the public.
Right.
So that probably helped me a little bit. The other thing was I had a little bit of a struggle, which I'm sure you help people with, of translating the skills that I had honed so well for all those years into my own business.
Yeah.
It was like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I translate this? And it worked out so beautifully in the what I wanted to do piece from having traveled for that whole year, training people and popping in and out of offices to be able to go, yeah, I'm pretty confident I can walk up in front of a pretty hostile crowd and deliver my material. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty good with that because I lived it like every day for a
Right.
year.
Right.
So, like, that piece of it is what do I do well now as a federal employee or a corporate employee? What do I do really now, really well now that can translate into something else? And so for me, it was speaking, it was training, and and then I just kind of ended up on this bunny trail and got into spiritual healing and energy work, which has made a huge difference because we often hear do the thing, and as a coach myself, I'm like, why didn't you just hit publish on that post? Like, I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be nice about it, but I don't get it. Like, click the button, just click the button.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't because they've got one of those invisible barriers
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
don't even know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fun part for me is being able to clear that out so they can take that next step. They can actually publish the website or make the call. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of been a fun both and transition. But making the transition, like the first part is what skills do I already have? And are there some skills I want? I wanted to be certified in disc behavioral profiles because that was fascinating to me. So the very first thing I did was find a disc class and fly to Atlanta and take a class and get certified in disc. The second thing was change. And I got certified in a thing called change style indicator because we all have a natural tendency and natural response to change. And if you know what yours is, you can modify, like you can adapt to the situation. So it was like, what do I need to know that I want to get out there? And it was like, I want to get disc out there and I want to get change out there. So those were the first, pardon me, two major things that I did was I have all these training teaching skills that I'm already really good at, but now I want something special to
Right.
teach.
There is something. Yeah. 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 I think what people forget so often when they're starting a business or when they're in business, or moving to another business, even to another business, myself, I've got four. So there's always a little ounce of hesitance. Like, here we go again. Is this one going to work? Is that, but we forget that we have skills and expertise and credibility, and experience, right, in the previous job. But when we step into something that's brand new and it's foreign to us, we start doubting ourselves, right? We start wondering, hey, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe I'm not capable of this. And I just want everyone to hear that, you've got so much experience. How dare you not give it to the world? How dare you not share it with everybody? And I think that's important. And I love that you niched it, down. So how long has your business been in place now? This one?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to say 11 years.
11 years. Yeah. What are some of the things you wish you had done differently in the beginning that could have accelerated you to where you are today
You and
faster?
you don't even know we had this conversation, but we had a little bit of this conversation on the cruise. And you made the comment that you like to look at what people already have purchased, what tools or apps or
Right.
platforms, and then, you don't beat them upside the head for why'd you waste your money on that. You're very gentle and kind, and you're like, well, maybe we just use these and see if we can plug in the others
Right. The
later.
process of elimination. Like let's
Yeah,
eliminate all of it and not get rid of it, but just push it aside. Yeah.
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 And so we're having that conversation, and 400 of us on the cruise, right? Like it happened very quickly. And I thought, if only. So, one stupid, stupid little thing. The first business coach I had, she was great, and I have done great and amazing things having been associated with her. But one of the things she said was, you need to be able to send invoices that look really good. Now, she didn't tell me you need like a client to send an invoice to. That wasn't the
That
conversation.
minor stuff, right? Minor stuff. Oh, I
She said,
must need this. I need it. I need it. It's X $1,000. I need the program because it's got to be pretty.
yes. So I needed a thing. I don't even know if it still exists. It's called Moon Clerk.
Uh-huh.
So you get your Stripe account, and at the time, Stripe didn't make pretty little invoices, and you
Right.
would get Moon Clerk, and then you can make a pretty little branded thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, once you got going, it was going to make all the difference in the world. Okay, great. So I don't know how much it costs, $12 a month, $20 a month. It wasn't ridiculous, but all of a sudden one day it dawned on me, I'm going to say 2 years in, I had never sent an invoice. Like it never even happened that way.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm paying for this process. I'm like, okay, I'm out on that. Like, no. So I had to cancel it. And now they have all kinds of apps and things that will help you see what all your subscriptions are. But like those little dings of $20 here, $20 there, you're like,
They add
oh,
up.
well, it's only $20. But when you look at them all together and you're just starting, it's like, I didn't need any of that crap. Like,
Yeah.
most of the stuff I got, I didn't need. And when I found out that I could have done 90% of my work between Google Sheets and Google Docs and Google Forms,
Hmm.
I was a little bit crushed and devastated. It was
Yeah.
like, what? So they tell you,
That's good wisdom.
I'm air quoting
Hmm.
the they for the listeners. They say, as a coach, you just need to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the client that you're teaching. I believe there's some truth to that. But sometimes the coach is so far ahead that they want you to be doing their thing and you're down here and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
no. So there has to be that moment of pause. How am I really going to use this, and will it really do anything to help me? Because
Yeah.
like someone said, you immediately have to have a website. I am
No, you
personal
don't.
I am personal friends with a woman who has a multi-million-dollar company, and she still doesn't have a website.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she doesn't. So I go to the Small Business Administration. They have a little breakout thing for new businesses. She recommends somebody because I have to have a website. And I don't even want to guess how many thousands of dollars I spent with him over the years. And it was in a WordPress site. And then the plugins don't work. And then what do you do? And I said, "Oh, would you give me a shopping cart? Like I created a thing. I want to sell it. Like, can you put a shopping cart on there?" Yeah, well, he didn't connect it to my Stripe account. So it still
Yeah.
didn't work. He didn't tell me you needed to connect it to a product. Where do you put a product? Like,
Yeah, well, you don't know what you don't know. Yeah, you
You
don't know what you don't
don't.
know. Yeah, I
And so,
always say sequencing is off, right? The sequencing is off for new businesses. Sometimes for experienced businesses, the sequencing is off, and that's what's making them stuck
well, and I
where
called
they're
my
at.
IT gal that I was good friends with at HUD, and I called her one day and she goes, "Hey, Jennifer, how's it going?" I was like, "I want to know where my tech support is." And she was like, I was like, "Where are you? I need help. I don't know how to do this." So you get caught up in all this stuff everybody tells you have to have. Obviously, not you, Lady Jen, but so
No,
many.
but I've had my share of it too. I mean, we all did, when we first started off in business, because I came from corporate too, right? So it's like, I must need that. I must need that. But I very quickly realized that's out of sequence because I'm a process person. Yes, I need it, but it's down there at X, Y, and Z, and I'm still at C, D, E. And what a
Absolutely.
waste of money that was,
Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe I can use it later if the program's still available,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, no, I totally get that. That's really, really good counsel. And I hope that everyone who's listening is hearing that. Even if, you're a seasoned business owner, there may be gaps that didn't get filled in the beginning that are the anchor that's holding you back from moving forward, right?
Yeah.
There are things you chose not to get. So there's a flip side of that too, is some things you do need to get. Maybe it is a website, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I mean, some people choose not to get a website. I didn't for a really long time because everyone kept handing me their card. I go, "Do you have a card?" Back when we collected and carried cards. "Do you have a card?" And they would say, "Yeah, but don't go to my websites because being rebuilt." And I thought, why would you build something you don't know what you need to put on it? And so I kept getting all these solicitations. "Hey, we can help you build your website." Now I don't really know what I want on it yet. So I know I want my picture, I know I want my ID or my bio, but I don't know what else I want on there,
Yep.
and so yeah, and I know you experience it because that's what you're saying is like, do I need a website? Don't I need, people will say to me, "You don't have your programs or products." And I go, "No, I don't. I will never have them on my website ever because I want to talk to people, right?"
Yeah.
But I think, and then there's people that do. So I think it's important. That's a really, really good counsel. What did you do right that excelled your business? Maybe it's in the training, maybe it's in getting the word out. What did you do right that you look back and say, "Oh, if I were counseling someone new, I would say, make sure you do this."
Well, I talk about helping people get clarity, and it's so cute that at the beginning you're like, "This works for men too." But you talk to somebody and they're like, "You have to pick." And I'm like, "Well, I'm a woman. I guess I'll pick women." But
Oh, see, I don't pick. So yeah,
yeah,
funny.
yeah. As you said that, I thought, I could just go change all of that to client. Um,
Right.
Sounds good to me. So I think the big thing for me, and I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole in sharing this, but I had worked with multiple coaches,
Mhm.
some of them really good and some of them not so much. And that happens, and you think you're like made the best decision, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. And I met a woman who read Akashic Records, which are the messages of your soul, and it's kind of an airy fairy out there kind of thing. And she said, "Do you want to learn how to do this?" And I said, "Yes." Like I decided that was the first thing I did when I left the government. I lived my life saying no. My mother was hardcore. You have to be responsible, do the right thing at all times. So I said no to a lot of things that would have probably been fun, or I would have enjoyed, or they might have been helpful overall. Like it could have been a good learning experience. But I said no. So I decided when I left the government that I was going to say yes to absolutely everything I
Oh
possibly could.
God. Oh gosh.
Like,
Okay.
just say yes. If I want to learn something new, learn it. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
dive in, not extremist, but dive in. So I take this class, and I'm just doing it for fun and for me. And it's in the evening, so it's easy to attend. It's online. And we get to the end, and I get this nice little email. And it was a 12-week program. And
Mhm.
it says, "Congratulations, you're a certified soul care coach." Okay, I did not even know a certification was part of the process. Like, I didn't know
Right. Right. Right.
because, like, I don't read fine print. That I'm a high I in the disc. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
details. whatever. Somebody goes, "How did you work in the federal government?" I said, "Oh, girl, I wanted the accolades. So I did what I had to do to get the accolades."
Right, right. That's
So
the eye.
I'm 96. I can't lower it. So I'm now this soul care coach, and I was in a paid women's network, and you could drop anything in there, and then they ruined it by putting all these restrictions. But I dropped it in there and I said, "Hey, I just became a certified soul care coach. I can read your Akashic records. I have 5 spots open on my calendar. Who wants them?" They were gone like in less than an hour. I had never made an offer that anybody took me up on before. And I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So I have my first session. And at the end, the gal, I never met her. We weren't in the same little cohort within the program. And she goes, "That was amazing. May I write you a testimonial?" Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
manna
there
from
you go.
heaven, folks. Yes. So this kept happening in all my calls. It was like, "Can I write you a testimonial?" I'm like, "Please." So I was trying to figure out a way to marry like the leadership development component that I had been so focused on and this piece of you need to live your soul's purpose. You need to show up as the leader you're meant to be, not a
Yes.
cookie cutter box. How do I marry those? So I'm a Christian born on a Sunday. Or Monday, my first time in church was Sunday. So I've always believed, and various times in my life I've gotten very strong messages and like saved my life, literally. And so like I listened to that, you can call it gut instinct, intuition, voice of God, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. It all works. But I woke up and I was like, you just need to lean into this energy stuff. You just need to lean into it. So I started making a shift and I started learning multiple modalities, different ways of helping people. And then I became a certified high performance coach because I love learning and they just kind of come with certifications. I don't really seek the certifications, the learning just ends up with them. And it was like, this is beautiful. I can help people very strategically and specifically. And then when they hit that wall, we clear it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's listening to what you really want to do. And I had a coach when I was working solely on leadership stuff. And the next thing I know, she had me down a path of doing some stuff I didn't want to do. It wasn't wrong or illegal or immoral. It was just like,
Right. It
man, I
started going
don't
in the
like
direction you
that.
didn't want. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Mhm.
So take time to be clear what you want to do and how you want to show up.
Mhm.
Because you can't help me, Lady Jen, if I don't know what I want. Now, you can
Right.
help me
Right.
get to what I want, but if I don't know, like it's just disingenuous to say, "Okay, well, you made this sentence, let's just go down that path."
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
know what you want. Like, how do you
Mhm.
want to show up? You may not know the particulars, but how do you want to show up? I want to be authentic. I think I'm absolutely hilarious, so I want humor to come out. And if people don't believe me, then that's their problem. Um, I really want to connect with people at an emotional level,
Mhm.
and I want to help people have a better life in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that you're saying that. For years in my business, I was just in the hustle. I have a course called Hustle to Harmony, right? Harmony. And that was just doing the thing, doing the things constantly. And I imagine you did this at HUD because I was very involved in the mortgage business too. And it's moving in that direction, just doing the thing, go to the networking thing, follow through, send thank you notes, follow through again, be better at sales, learn more sales, right? All of those pieces. And I thought mindset work, intuition, although I have it, I'm almost a medium. I'm actually working on it now instead of not looking at it, I'm walking towards it. But I just was thought that was woo-woo stuff. I don't need any of that crap because I'm in the financial services. And so if you're in a trade and you think, oh, it's tough. I'm a construction guy, I'm a mechanic, I have a trade. I don't need that. Or you think you're in financial services and you don't need all of that stuff. I have news for you. The moment that I started saying, wait a minute, mindset plus mechanics equals momentum, not mechanics. Mechanics does not equal momentum. Mindset doesn't equal momentum either. You have to do some things. You can't only will it and only manifest that. And it comes to you and you go, well, that was fun. I manifested it. It's both that creates momentum. And that's what you're talking about too. I do something a little different than you do. You come down into the heart. I go to the head for the mindset, but it's still making a shift and opening up other pieces of who you are so that you can really determine what is success to you.
And
Because
what it is for you is different than me, right?
absolutely, it's not making 500,000. It's not making 1 million. It's not a house. It's not a certain kind of car. I used to think it was a Mont Blanc pen until I opened it up and it spewed all over my body. And I was like, no, I don't think it's a Mont Blanc pen anymore. This isn't success to me. This is somebody else said that if I had a Mont Blanc pen, that I had arrived, right? So it's not that. And opening yourself up to learning that about yourself will accelerate. I don't want to say will accelerate your happiness, because happiness is not a destination, but it will accelerate your peace. Let's say it'll accelerate your peace. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And that whole idea of the mindset, there's that book, and it's so amazing. It's Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's a fabulous book. If you haven't read it, read it. It's a great book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not think and then you're rich.
Exactly. And
It's not
people
that.
like hear that, think and grow rich, and it's like, oh, okay. But I like to press, but you have to do something.
Right. You have to do
Like
something
you
with
have
it.
to do something. And so, and when you read the book, it of course is explicit that you do have to do something. But it's that mindset. And part of my 12 minutes to success methodology is you need to wire your brain for success. And that's clearing out those negative thoughts saying, I'm not good enough. I'm stupid. I'm not techie. Like, how many times do we hear that? I'm
Why
not.
aren't they buying it? I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
understand. Where's everybody at? Yeah.
And clear that out first. And then imagine the future you really want.
Yeah.
What is it that you really want? Because we don't ask ourselves that in the mortgage business, in corporate, in government. Nobody asked me what I wanted. It was do this, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you really want?
Mm-hmm.
And write it out. Like, write it out in detail. What would your perfect day look like if
Mm-hmm.
everything fell into place? And then that in for next steps for the win methodology is now, what are you going to do next? Take that first step and let's break it down into something little that you can actually do, because our visions are big, our hopes and dreams are big, they're enormous, and they can scare you from actually starting.
Right. Right. The fear of putting that first step forward. Right.
Yeah. But if it's a
Yeah.
little step, you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. I love that. What would you want to say to those people that are listening, that could be brand new in business? Maybe they're stuck in business. Maybe they're looking at what the exit might look like for them, but they don't know what they want to do for that either. Or someone who's in corporate and saying, I don't know, should I do this or not? Because we want them to hear from the grapevine, and you're now a grape. What would you
Uh,
like to share with people as we
oh
leave
gosh, I love
today?
that. So if you're in corporate and you're thinking, or government, whatever, if you're thinking about leaving your 9 to 5 job, I think it would be helpful if you made a list of all the skills you already have.
Mm-hmm.
What are you really good at? And make an honest assessment. And then go back and put like a star by the things you enjoy doing. Because just because you can and you're good at it
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't mean you're going to win. Um, in college, I was always adamant, and not people that family members don't listen to me like they should. I said, when you go to college, two things have to happen. You have to be interested in it, and you have to have some aptitude or skill for it, or
Mhm.
it's too hard to stick it out, or you're
Yeah.
miserable the whole
Yeah.
time if you do. It's the same thing with this. I'm good at certain things, but I don't really want to do them all day.
That's right.
So, what are
Yeah.
the things you're good at? What do you like? and kind of take it a little bit from there. The other thing is make a list of all your successes. In my bio, it says I've trained over 10,000 people, and it's true. I have. I stopped at 10,000. Now it's probably 15,000. I don't know. But it was an exercise with a business coach, and it was like, how many people have you impacted? And
Yeah.
so I started listing all the trainings I did and how many people
And how
were
many
in
hours
that
of
room.
training you've done. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And so, and
To
then somebody goes,
quantify everything that you do. Yeah.
yeah, somebody was like, oh my God, like over 10,000. I'm like, yeah, over 10,000. I mean, I know it's well over that now, but you don't think of those things.
Mhm.
And those are the things that are going to give you the courage when you're feeling stuck.
Yeah, it's going back to because you forget sometimes, I remember, and I can't remember what the actual thing was, but I was like, I had a speed bump in my business, and I was like, wait a minute, I used to do this every day. I used to teach people this every day. What's my problem? Right? Why am I
Yeah.
not using this? Because I forgot I had the skill.
And when I
Because we
was a
get
kid,
lost in, the fog.
and all the day, when I was a kid, I'm the youngest of four, and my next older sister is 3 years older. So they'd say, we're leaving in 10 minutes. I didn't know what 10 minutes was. Kind of like my
Mhm,
12 minutes. I don't know what 5% more is. I
mhm.
was just like obsessed with it. Or they'd say, we're leaving at 9:30. I don't know what 9:30 is. When I learned to tell time, that was like the biggest thing ever. They'd say, we're leaving in 10 minutes. And I'd look at my little watch I got for my birthday and I'd go,
Yeah. And
oh,
it was a little Cinderella pink
yeah.
leather one. Yeah.
Okay, good. We're leaving in 10 minutes. I wear a watch every day, all the time. People are like, I don't wear a watch anymore. I have a phone. I was like, yeah, my phone's in my purse. I need my watch. But when those things aren't working correctly, I can go, but I learned to tell time. I can figure this out, or I can find somebody who
To
can
do
help
it for
me
me.
figure it
Yeah.
out or do the thing.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so it's those little things that will keep you going and help you not be stuck as you do the thing.
Right. Well, and I think it's really important that you said, write a list of all your successes. I think also write a list of all your contacts because
Oh,
you've got a lot of contacts in this corporate environment. And when you leave, you forget that you had those contacts. Because I'm telling you, I have forgotten, I've seen someone at a local networking thing, and I can't do it very often because I'm traveling too much. But when I go, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that they have that ability or they do this, and I could have leaned on them because we had such a great relationship. If I just keep that relationship going, right? I could have leaned on them instead of paying $5,000 to a coach who wasn't really going to help me, but promised that they would, right? And it took me a year to understand that. I could have been that much further ahead in my business. So that's something you want to be thinking about too is, yeah, write the list of your successes, write the list. It's called the hedgehog theory, right? Writing down what you love to do, what you're really good at, and what makes financial sense for you to be the one doing,
yes.
right? That's the hedgehog theory. Write down all your successes and write down a list of everybody you know now before you forget about them.
Yes.
Because how many times have we said, oh gosh, I wish I would have remembered that. I would have called you.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. And I love actionable things on the show. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for that. It's been a pleasure having you. So we're going to have a link to I know you've got a meditation that you do. I know that you've got your book. So we'll have all the links to all of those. We're going to put a link to your podcast as well so that people can go listen to your podcast. And hopefully I'll be on that real soon. You'll see me one day here soon. And I just really appreciate you sharing your business acronyms and appreciate it very much. Love your history, love your story, love your ideas, and go out and find those 12 minutes today, right? Just 12 quick minutes to move your
Yes.
business
Thank
forward.
yes, and thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Well, my pleasure as well. All right, we'll catch you next time on Business on the Vine. And remember, hop on over to YouTube and subscribe because you'll see all of my podcasts plus my TV show on that side, and find out more about my speaking events. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us on Business on the Vine. If you found value in today's conversation and would like additional support, go to supportfromjen.com. Remember, the best ideas are always discovered on the Vine, so keep innovating, stay inspired, and continue to grow.